Live yet. Okay, the broadcast is live. Hey, folks, I want you. Hey, we gotta give a warm welcome to my man, my college roommate, teammate, whatever from Virginia
Oh,
Tech. Played soccer down at Virginia Tech. My man Eric McClellan. Give him a warm welcome to the TD Report. Welcome, Eric. How you doing? Tell the people what you're doing, where you're at now, and everything else, man.
hey, I appreciate you, Tony. You know, we go way back in the day in the Nuff Cochran
Woo!
days and
Took me
going way
back to
back.
1989, 90.
Then on the College Park and all that. But yeah, no, I'm out here in Portland, Oregon, a little city called Wilsonville, about 20 minutes south of downtown Portland. Been out here since '99. You know, my wife's from here and she wanted to get back. Had some, parents had some health problems. So, hey, I got to do what I got to do. So, yeah, I came out here and was playing for the Portland team, indoor soccer, professional soccer. Did
Mm-hmm.
that for 2 years. And that was back in 98, 99. Then I played for the Dallas Sidekicks in Dallas my last year, 99 and 2000. And my daughter, my firstborn, she was I missed the whole pregnancy until literally 2 weeks before she popped out. And
Mm-hmm.
at that point, I was like, you know what? I've been doing this for 8 years, and I got to take care of family and be a part of that. So I retired in 2000, December 2000. So ever since I've been out here working IT, project management, program management, and coaching soccer. Still in the game and talking. So that's all I do.
So you retired 22 years ago.
Yeah.
Folks, so you know Eric is in the Hall of Fame at Virginia Tech. He is in the Hall of Fame at Virginia Tech for soccer. Folks, hey, we want to celebrate that. What year were you inducted, Eric?
That was it was with Eugene Chung, that class. So
Okay, so Eric went in 2008. He's our soccer. We're gonna welcome Dev POV Mason here to the show. Dev, this is Eric McClellan. This is somebody that I went to school with, and he will tell you I've always been a hey Eric. Let me warn you, Eric. You know how I am about sports.
I know it.
That dude right there, that dude right there, that dude right there keep me up at night trying to battle him because he's the same way. I call it Black Rain Man syndrome. Is what I want to call it.
I love
Appreciate
it.
it, man.
So we go in here, and you've seen TD Report before. You see that we like to come on, have a good time. Hey, Eric, bring us up to date on this World Cup. Just walk us through it like if we've never heard of soccer before. Give us a thing on this tournament right now.
Yeah, but I think the World Cup is one of those things that only comes around every 4 years, right? So it's like if you were to take March Madness, right, that we have every year, and you build all that pent up energy, and every 4 years, and it's like the best of the best, the world class players. I mean, you're talking, $200 million players out there. So, and all in one arena, one tournament for 1 month. Nothing like it, every 4 years. So you get the best of the best. You get exciting games, and you can't argue. I had a buddy of mine who's he's out. His wife is a VP of soccer and for Adidas, and they were at Qatar, and he's been to a couple World Cups, and he said by far this is the best run World Cup that he's been to. In and out in 15 minutes of the stadiums, and everything's plush. Not although there's no beer and alcohol sales, but he said that's actually a good thing. You don't have all the rowdiness, just people just there to watch the game and have a good time.
So you we're in the semis now, and there's been a couple upsets. Talk to us about that Brazil upset. Why did that happen? See, because Eric, people only know Brazil because Brazil is nothing but the Dallas Cowboys of the world in soccer. That's the reason why people know Brazil. So talk to us about Brazil because people are going to want to know. You're talking soccer, they want to know Brazil. Talk to us about what happened.
So you and I, right? Dallas fans for life, right? So we know America's team. World, like you said, and I saw your little post that Brazil is the world's team, and that's true. You love them or you hate them. Brazil has been known. I'm a diehard Brazil fan, but they've been known to choke. At the end of the day, they have the best players in the world. You go up and down their roster, and like you said, they'll play for the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, the Liverpools, Chelseas, all those teams, the top teams. And for whatever reason, they always have one or two mental breakdowns, and it always bites them. And that's just been their MO. And that's just, they can win a game 6-1. Previous game, you're like, oh, there's no way, no one's going to touch them. And then the next game comes around, and boom, there you have it. They're out. So it's just classic Brazil, unfortunate. But, I'm a fan of theirs. And, Neymar, I feel bad for him, but hopefully he comes back around for another go in 4 years, in 2026.
Hey, E, so we got my man Dave. Now, don't get ready to fight because Dave went to UVA. Oh. And so Dave knows the history of UVA soccer. And E was the one. See, what people don't give E and them credit for, and because soccer is so small here in the United States, but it's big in the world, is E set the blueprint and set the groundwork at Virginia Tech for soccer to when we were playing for the championship in, I think it was 07 or 08, when Virginia Tech played for the championship. E is one of the ones who helped set that groundwork. And remember, Dave was at UVA, and UVA was big time in all them sports like that.
So, we won 4 in a row.
You gotta remind me. You gotta remind me.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all were the Brazil of college back then.
Yeah. Well, back then, we had Damian Silveira, rest in peace. We had Claudio Reyna, Nate Friends, Clint P.A., Tom Henske, Jeff Causey. We had basically the Herman Award winners were at our school all at the same time. Jeff Agus, Brad Agus, all those guys were at UVA when I was there. So UVA was always a very good school in soccer. We had Bruce Arenas was the head coach. Now one of his top assistants has taken over, Jeff Gelnabach, and he's taken UVA again to another level up. But, the thing is with UVA soccer, when I was there, and Eric, it's great to meet you, by the way, and I got a chance to read your bio. Very impressive stuff. Let's talk about with the World Cup. Let's talk tactics, because a lot of us Yanks don't understand tactics of soccer. Obviously we're used to what we watch on the weekends when our kids play. And as I tell my son, who, was an all-county soccer player when he was a little guy, I told him, I said, what you're playing now, that ain't soccer. I said, that's something that we do here in the United States. That's not what they do overseas. Tell us about tactics. Where is the United States weak tactically? What are we doing wrong tactically that isn't helping us in international competition?
I'm not so sure it's all about tactics as far as where I think the U.S. Struggles with. I think Berhalter is he's a clinician. He understands the game. He's played the game at a high level, national team, and all that. And he knows what he's doing. He has a system, and he has the guys that he wants to work that system. And his system is, he's got the number 9, which is the top forward up there, and he's the one that's kind of supposed to be kind of a post player, play the ball into them and run up, make runs off. So if you go back to the first game we played against Wales, how we scored, the ball came into the forward, played it back to Pulisic, and then Pulisic played it through to Weah, and we scored. So that's what that number 9. So that's kind of his tactics, and then sound defensively. Just keep the back line, tight together, and they move together as a group. So I think the tactics are there. I think we just don't have right now the maturity as well as raw talent. So we have class players, Pulisic, play a top club, right? Chelsea. We have, Weah that's getting up there, and some guys that are in the Premier League, the top league in the world, but they're young. You look at it, our roster was, I think, average was 23. And that's exciting, because I look at 4 years from now, and then their prime's at 26, 27, and the kids that are coming up underneath them, we got tons of talent coming up underneath academies and players that you haven't heard about that are playing overseas, that are getting coached up and learning the game. So, the mainstays are, the Gio Reyna, right, Claudio's son.
It makes me feel so old to see Gio out there playing. Yeah. And I just remember seeing his dad at soccer parties, right? So these young guys, they have the P word, the potential, right? Yeah. So development of these players and the maturation, and then pulling the team, keeping that team together, the core, and then being able to add pieces that you need here and there. How are they going to handle expectations going forward, over this next cycle? And then what type of methods are going to be utilized to develop this team, this core? I mean, we've got some good guys. Got Tyler Adams out there. He seems like he's going to be a good young captain that can be there for a while. And, I see a lot of him. He reminds me a lot of John Harkes, and just the way that he takes a lot of things in stride, very mature. And, you remember that the press conference, the question that Tyler Adams was asked about his pronunciation of Iran. I mean, you can't ask for more diplomacy, more maturity. So that's my question, Eric. How do you see us looking when we have you back on in a few years and we're talking about, the United States men's national team and where they were today, and then where they'll be 3.5 to 4 years from now?
Well, I think it'll be way ahead of the game. I think they're going to be coming into that very confident. They've proven to the world and to themselves and to the nation that they can compete. England. What was the score of the England game? Right? It's like everyone talks about England, and we were right there. And Wales, first game, we immaturity, let a goal late. That bad foul in the box. And so the pieces are there. I think they're going to, with the player he's talking, Tyler Adams, hopefully he gets sold and goes overseas and he gets more experience there. And all these guys who are playing are going to start to be starters on those premier teams and really get minutes. I mean, you look at the keeper, right? He's a second team, over there playing. So he's not really getting games, but he's eventually, especially the World Cup he just had. So I think all that experience in the 4 years that we're going to get, and that team, like you said, that core staying together. I mean, that you can't argue that. And you can't, when you see those type of players for 4 years playing international games, playing friendlies, and getting that camaraderie together, that's what's going to be key in 2026. The pressure is pressure, right? It's like either you're going to crack or you're going to blossom. And what I've seen, they'll want to blossom, they will blossom. So I don't see anyone out there that was scared to play for the moment.
Okay, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that we weren't playing scared. We were probably so young we didn't know that we were supposed to be. So that's what I think. Maybe next cycle you might see us maybe get tight, because expectations can tend to make a team play tight. But that all comes down to the coaching and the development. So Eric, you're sitting in the big chair right now. You're going to be the executive director of U.S. men's national team. All right. What are your expectations over the next 2 to 3 years?
Player development, and that's from the youngsters coming through. I'm making sure that I find a number 9, a true goal scorer. We don't have that right now. You look at the big countries who have Richarlison for Brazil. You've got all these guys that are just they score goals, like Harry Kane, even though he misses PK the other day, but he scores goals, and we don't have that right now. Can
I chime in real quick, Eric? What about? Yeah. I want to ask you. There's a guy I think could do it, but I think his immaturity still bites him.
Jesus, I'm not sure. Are you talking Pereira?
Pereira. That kid is super talented.
He is,
but he's got like this edge about him that seems to rub the coach the wrong way, I think. And I think that's why we didn't see him as much as we probably thought we would this World Cup.
So is you talking about Jesus? You're talking about Gio?
I'm talking about Jesus. Okay.
So he plays here in MLS. He plays for, I think, Dallas. And he even in MLS, the last couple of months, he hasn't performed at the level that you would think at the world-class level. So it was kind of interesting that he actually made the team, to be honest, the squad. Going off a record, because Berhalter already said, hey, I'm going to bring in guys who have done it, who are doing it. And Ferreira, over the last month or so in MLS, he wasn't scoring goals. He really wasn't involved. So it was kind of an odd, when we left, Pepe behind, a youngster that's, young, he's 19 years old, and he was, the next coming number 9, and he's playing overseas. He was left off, but Ferreira was added. So, I just don't think the games also fitted Ferreira's style of play. He's not stay up there. He drops back in and tries to get the ball and lay it off, and that just wasn't, the team we were playing. It wasn't fitting his style.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I just think, just going back to the original question, I just think, if I'm the person finding number 9, a true number 9, to continue to develop and get as many high quality friendlies. I don't need to play, Bahamas and Cuba. I need to be playing, bring over, Portugal, bring over Brazil, and let's play and let's see how we stack up, because that's the only way to get better. Iron sharpens iron, right? So that's what I would do.
Wow.
Yeah, I love the sport. I mean, I think, every cycle, or at least in an Olympic cycle, going into a World Cup, we get this groundswell of attention where us soccer fans get to come out, right, and really enjoy the sport and enjoy some of the pageantry of it, what's going on in the stands, what's going on in the host, in the host nation. But, this particular World Cup, some are going to consider it a disappointment. I don't look at it that way. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. We're going to get most of these guys back. This is not an aging team, as you mentioned, and we've got some good kids in the pipeline that are coming up that next cycle might have a chance to win time. And we're going to have our growing pains, as we saw with Gio Reyna. A little bit of growing pains, some effort, some effort issues. He has apologized to the club.
Yeah.
He's going to be welcomed back. It's clear he's got the talent, but obviously not having that guy, at the striker position that can put a team on his back.
Yeah.
I guess that's what you said we're missing. We're missing the head of the dragon, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, for sure. I mean, Pulisic is great. I played with his dad. I played for his dad for 1 year in pro leagues
Nice.
and Mark, and he's dynamic. But he's not Messi, but he's a good player. But I think we just need to he needs help. He can't be the only one. And I think Weah was good. He came in and did some nice things. But Gio, I talked to my buddy who's down at Dave Tenney. He played at Tech with me, and he's pretty well known in soccer. He's down at Austin FC, and he tells me, he goes, because Gio comes back and works out sometimes with the team, and because Claudio's there, and he's like, he's going to be unbelievable once he gets going. He's going to be the best of the best that we've ever had. And
Hey, E, can I ask you a question now? So as we get going, we need to get your prediction right now. Who wins the World Cup this
France.
year and why?
France
And why?
talent, and superstar. I mean, you've got experience with talent, and they're ready for it. They're ready. It's at the end of the day, when you get to this point in time, it's been a great run for Morocco. A great story, but that's kind of like Butler when they played in the national championship, right? It just
It's Butler playing Duke, but Eric, there hasn't been a back-to-back World Cup champion in how long?
until this year.
Before now, how long has it been? Who's the last country to have a back-to-back?
That's what he's saying, Tony.
Yeah.
Until now, when's the last time they've had a back-to-back? Because it hasn't been one. I've been watching since '82, and I don't recall any back-to-back champions in 40 years.
No, that's an accurate statement. But I think if you watch the game and how France, I mean, they've handled every team, and it hasn't really been. I mean, it was a little tight last game, but that's a quality team. But they found a way. And to be honest, I think Croatia is going to beat Argentina tomorrow, and tomorrow Tuesday. So I think if you look at how they play, that team, I think it's going to be a rematch, France Croatia, and Ray. I talk to Ray Crittenden all the time, right? And he's always like, man, those Croatians, they're like vampires. You can't put them away. They just always.
Yep.
And so I think they just, again, they have a system. Their makeup is just hard knocks, and they just figure it out. And I think Argentina is going to be, I think it's going to be a shock. I think it's going to be a France versus Croatia, and France is going to be holding the cup.
So the French are kind of like the Patriots. They're the new world dynasty, huh?
Yeah.
Mbappe.
I mean, that right there is the key. I mean, he might not score, and it's hard to get him to keep him off the board, but he's going to draw so much attention. And then you've got these other players that are top notch. It's like it's a wealth of riches.
They call him the Giannis of soccer.
Yeah,
Because of the attention that he draws every time he's on that. They call him the Giannis of soccer. Dude is different, man. He's different.
And Giannis still gets his 30, right? And
still gets his 30, his 15 rebounds.
And Mbappe's gonna get his. It's hard to keep him off. I mean, the guy is fast, he's skillful, he's smart, he understands the game. It's amazing to watch. It's like if I had a tenth of his talent and his understanding at this point in time, I'd be living in, in Tahiti somewhere right now.
Yeah. Hey, folks, TD Report. We got my man, Irk McClellan. He is a Hall of Famer at Virginia Tech. He played pro. I guess it's 20 years ago right now. What has it been? 22 years. He retired in December of 2000, folks. We welcome him to the show. We're going to have you back on because we're going to be doing a lot for the new year. We're going to need a soccer guy that we need to go to, someone who's still right there in it. You still got connects, as I see. You see, with TD Report, we try to cover everything. Everybody wants the football stuff. But
I'm all...
football, real football.
No, I love football. I can talk soccer. I'm loving Pride what he's doing there. So I'll come off of that. Trust me, I can talk that talk too.
We know it, brother. We know it, folks. And we got Dave up here smiling because Dave is bringing back the UVA memories, and that's why he's sitting over there smiling. Because they was winning championships. And
those were some battles, and in addition to hanging out with a lot of guys on the men's team. When I was working for the SID's office, my job was to cover the women's team. So I had to cover UVA women's soccer. So Andrea Rubio, Tracy D'Amelio, and then of course we always had to play North Carolina women's soccer, and that was the Mia Hamm years. That was no fun. I mean, it was the worst part about North Carolina women's. It wasn't just that they were a dynasty. They brought in a dynastic player that was better than almost any other player they've ever had in Mia Hamm, who was just an insane goal scorer. The only female player I've ever seen score unassisted off of a corner kick.
She kicked it right in, huh?
No, she put it. Hey man, she put it in the area of the size of a milk crate, in the far corner. It was absolutely incredible. I mean, our keeper, and it was against us. Our keeper didn't move. I mean, what are you going to do about that? Ball was perfectly struck, and once it came off of her foot, we all thought it was going to go over the end line, but it just hooked and just dropped right in the net. And what are you going to say? So, just seen some great soccer over the years. Just out of the ACC. I mean, Clemson had a great team. They must have had a great team. I think it was about in like 95 or 96.
Okay.
I think they went to Clemson. Yeah. Who would thunk it? So
no, that's how we felt about the UVA men's when we used to play them. And I went up against Claudio for 4 years, and John and Miola and Clint. Yep. And DJ Wood and all those guys, Richie and Richie and So those are dynasty teams. So
those guys used to hang out, and you'd see them around campus, and you just say to them, someone you'd be like, yeah, that's Claudio Reyna, and you're like, dude, he looks bigger on TV. I was like, no, that's how tall he is. He's not, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but you get him on the pitch, he's going to run all freaking day.
He was probably the hardest guy that I marked in college, no doubt. Like he was.
Oh, really? Okay.
College, I was like, yeah. I scored twice against UVA, so I give him that.
Hey, get the goals where you can get them. Because the thing that makes it so hard for us Americans sometimes, if we don't know soccer that well, we won't look at a 0-0 game and say that it was good, right? You look at the relative strength of the team, and sometimes a 1-1 draw is a great result for one team, and for the other team, it's a great disappointment. Why didn't we, make the most of our chances? So, that's more of an understanding thing where, somebody from another country might come and watch, American football,
Right.
and watch a 20-20 Washington New York game and say it was terrible because it was a tie and there wasn't enough scoring. It's the same, but we would understand it. Hey, listen, these two teams always battle each other, and that's kind of what you're going to get when they're evenly matched. And that's the one thing about that is like the understanding of it. I would say my son likes watching soccer almost as much as he played it.
Okay.
He'll sit and he'll watch an entire match.
And just really enjoy it and have a good time with it. Hold on, let me get rid of this call real quick. So, yeah, guys, I really apologize. I was sitting here just getting off work and wanted to just call in from the car. I didn't want to miss you on this, E, because wanted to ask you those couple of those soccer.
So, hey, can we get you back, Eric, to get us ready after the championship? We want to get you back, man. We appreciate you for coming on, man, and joining the TD Report for the first time, folks. So this is Eric McClellan, Hall of Famer from Virginia Tech. He's joined us tonight, and we wanted to thank you, Eric, for coming on, man.
All right,
and giving us that knowledge, man, because, we want to talk to the professionals when we start getting into stuff like that. As you can see, Dev writes all that stuff, so he, bam, 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 once we get you two together, bam, you ready to lay it down for us, baby. When we get the TD Report in January, we're going to need some soccer stuff. So
I'm all in.
Premier League, from everything else, we're going to need all kinds of stuff because we're going worldwide with what we're doing.
Okay, I'm in. Coming in.
So we all sports all the time. Know that, E. February 1990, we were watching the Tyson Buster Douglas thing together. So we all sports all the time. We know it all. We get professionals like you, but we want to thank you for coming on, man, because we about to get in here and busting heads. I'm about to bust their head on why Dallas should be in the Super Bowl.
Let's go.
But hit us back anytime, man. Thank you, brother, for coming on with us.
Love y'all.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff, man.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, bro. Hey, folks, as we on the TD Report, we wanted to thank our man, Eric McClellan, Hall of Fame soccer from Virginia Tech. Yeah, he played in pro. He's been retired for 2 years now. So, Dev, talk to me, man. What's going on, man? It was a big weekend. As you can see, look at my shirt. You can't get
can't say nothing about Caleb, nowhere.
You can only buy them at the Heisman ceremony. You can't get them nowhere. I've been there. You can only get them at the ceremony.
You were there with Joe Burrow, wasn't you?
Yes, I was there with Joe Burrow. And the reason why I don't go back is because that was the heart of COVID, and it happened 2 weeks before COVID, and we just missed all the stuff. And until that thing is gone, I ain't going back to that little tight spot in New York. Folks, a Crab Bowl alum, played in the youth game, local guy, Caleb Williams, which I even thought him or Blake Corum would win, won the Heisman Trophy. I love it that he's the first one ever from this area. We had a little thing that's going on social media. Folks, so that we can understand each other, so when you start talking about this area here is so small that anytime we do something, it's for all of us. Because Texas and them are so big, when something happened in Texas, they say, hey, that guy's from Texas, and he from way over here, and it take you 10 hours to drive to where he's from. But they claim it all. But in this area, we only want to claim 30 minutes away from each other. Folks, we need to stop with that mentality. We need to get out that mentality. I understand we got rivalries between each other. But when someone local does something good, all of us should celebrate and be happy for that.
Yeah, he's ours. He's the DMVs. No matter who you support, he's the DMVs. He's everybody's.
We support him. He's ours. No, I don't care what school he went to. What does that make a difference? He's local here. He knows the Beltway. He knows Baltimore's Beltway. He knows the roads. He's here. He's from here.
Yep.
We need to get away from that you know, that it's just not right.
He didn't go to Maryland, so I ain't support. You know, man, come on, man.
Who cares about that?
Come on,
You know,
he was in Lincoln Riley's back pocket for 3 years, man, before he even. We knew he was. Once he saw what Lincoln Riley was doing with them quarterbacks, he'd been a fool not to go get under that. You have look at what Lincoln Riley does with quarterbacks. That right there is all I need to see for me to go. You know what? That's why I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna transfer. If he leave, I'm going with him. That's simple as
if
that.
I'm a big time quarterback, I am going to school.
Yes.
So that you know, guys, it's almost been 50 years on the nose that we've had back-to-back Heisman winner, which was Archie Griffin. That's the last one from Ohio State. It's very hard to do because the expectations are going to go from here to there. It's very hard to do. Now, in Caleb's defense, he may have a good defense next year, and he may have a better supporting cast around him next year.
True.
So he is one that may be able to do that. Now, Tim Tebow couldn't do it because he had a team called Alabama and all of them around him. He had LSU, all those other good teams around. Hey, man, outside of Utah, I don't see nobody really stopping USC next year.
He got a great shot, man, because the other three guys that won or finished second were all leaving after that. They didn't stay. They were all out of eligibility, like Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield's play stuff. They were just going to go pro because they were future number one picks. So he's a true sophomore. And the offense that they run is very quarterback friendly and conducive to putting up major numbers. And as you just stated, the defense can't be any worse. Can't be any worse than what it was.
Yep.
And the playmakers that they have on offense should be just as good. If Jordan Addison may leave, but they have enough. They have 10 other receivers. I mean, and they got guys coming in. It's USC. So, as you stated, Utah right now, Oregon maybe. Oregon is iffy. But Utah is the only team that they've had trouble with since this year. That's it. 2 losses, Utah. And he played well at both of them games. He was great in both games. They lost because they couldn't stop Utah. So the kid is different. I mean, he's Patrick Mahomes-esque. I mean, he has the flair. He has the bravado. He has the confidence. He has the swag. And we can sit here and say they didn't win against Utah, but it was 17-3 before he did that slide and hurt himself. If he doesn't do that slide, they probably blow Utah out of that arena that night.
Blow them
They
out.
were on the ropes.
And he still won the award in a landslide.
So
imagine if he has that game. Now, I want to say, but I'm a little biased with local guys. I think if Blake Corum has the game against Ohio State, I think Blake Corum is a Heisman winner because it was 2 versus 3. It was one of the most watched games in Big Ten history. Both teams were 11-0. And if Blake Corum has that game, and he
at Ohio State too,
he would have been almost at 2,000 yards.
At Ohio State, yeah.
He would have probably ran away with it. But, you know, we can say that. But I have a beef with the Heisman people for not inviting him.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
He should have been there. His season was too good to not be at that ceremony because his family need to be at that ceremony because of the hard work. Them people driving hours to take their son to school. I mean, all those years of doing all that stuff. And folks, well, I'm speaking to you because these guys were local. You kind of know their stories. We're happy for everyone. You saw me. I'm very biased when it comes to local players. So I'm cheering for both of them. And as my post said a week ago, I was like, 2 weeks ago, let's get behind both campaigns because I truly didn't care who won. I wanted a local guy to win it because to me, it's the most prestigious award in sports.
It is.
Somebody said it's marketed the most. I said it's marketed the most because it's the best. It's the most prestigious award in sports. Yeah, you got Super Bowl. You got all that, but that was a team. You got Stanley Cup. All those are teams. There's no individual award better than the Heisman Trophy.
No, it's not.
You know who the Heisman Trophy winners are. You know them for the rest of their life. They're going to know him for the rest, and they ain't going to get no Reggie Bush stuff because ain't nothing illegal now. So he ain't going to get all that Reggie Bush stuff, and they would never do it to another USC grad. Matter of fact, y'all need to give Reggie Bush his Heisman back.
Yes, you do.
That's what. If I was USC, I would be like, I'm not accepting Caleb's Heisman until y'all get him back. Kelly gets, so you know, folks, you get 2 Heismans. 2. The player gets 1, and the school gets sent 1. That happened because of 1965-66 when Spurrier won. The students were mad because Spurrier, the school got the Heisman and Spurrier didn't get a Heisman. Students went and raised money to get him a Heisman. And after that, the Heisman Trust said, no, never again. From that point on, we're always going to get make 2 Heismans for him. Secondly, Heisman and Steve Spurrier is known for something else too. He's also known for his team that with Gatorade at halftime of what was it, the Orange Bowl. So Spurrier's had the ball coaches is right there in between all that football, isn't he? He's the first
coach, historian, man. He's
the first coach to win a Heisman and then coach a Heisman. I mean, but Spurrier is real deep in all that stuff. So, you know, the Heisman history.
He deeply rooted. Was it Danny Werfel?
Danny Werfel, 96, 97.
Yep.
So, you know, all that, you know, from the Heisman, you know, when I went, I got this magazine. Let me show you guys so you can see it. I never bring it out, but it looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, it has a lot of history in it. So that you know, the pose is perfect on the Heisman Trophy. That pose came from a guy that never knew he was the Heisman. That was him. He was an NYU student. And later on in life, the Heisman Trust awarded him an actual Heisman. They gave him one. He never knew that he was the actual guy. And when you look at it as a running back or as a ball carrier, it's absolutely perfect. That is the perfect pose on keeping the defender away. Ball outside arm. Stiffy is up. It's a beautiful award. And we just want to, again, just say, Caleb, great job, baby. And hopefully one day we get you on the TD report. We're going to get some articles done on you, writing on you and writing on what led up to the Heisman. You know, we see the Heisman, but we want to get some things written, Deb, to what led him up to getting that prestigious award and coming from the DMV, baby. And
well, I've written a couple in the last couple of weeks on him, just talking about the Patrick Mahomes comparison. I did one today, as a matter of fact, on him saying the comparison by Tom House, a renowned quarterback coach, was on the Adam Schefter podcast or the Rich Eisen podcast, and he said Caleb Williams can do everything, and he reminds me of Patrick Mahomes. And they asked Caleb in New York, CBS Radio, I think he did a set with them Friday leading up to the Heisman, and they asked him about it. He said, hey, Mahomes is special. I look up to him, but I don't believe anything he does, I can't do. That's confidence. So when you got a guy that says that, so I wrote a piece on that today with the Shadow League. So you get a chance, check it out. Everybody listening, I did the Ron P.O.V. Mason Shadow League, or just go to the Shadow League. It'll be one of the first pieces you'll see from today. I did that. Just talking about Caleb's, maturation and his development and how he got to this point and how him and Mahomes are really stark images of each other. When you watch Mahomes, the way he runs around, the play he made Sunday where he throws it, that's the stuff Caleb does. You as a coach, you don't really keep them. You have to let them be who they are because they're going to do things that everybody else just can't do. I mean, you have to just live with it. And yeah, they're going to make mistakes at times because they're gamers. But boy, they're going to give you so many chances to win games every week. Unlike, You never believe you're out of a game with those two guys. You think you can win any game.
You know what I like about both of them, Dev, is that people allow them to be who they are.
Yep. Don't try to put them in a box. Nope.
And when you start putting these guys in a box, I kind of think of Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson's he's been hurt a couple of times. He's only been hurt being in the pocket.
Exactly.
They
don't get it.
Getting outside the pocket, because you know why, Deb? Because I think he knows what to do. He knows he can control himself. He can do whatever. He's like a kitty.
He never takes a big hit. He never takes a big hit out the pocket. He knows how to slide. He knows how to get out of bounds. He knows how to get down.
He knows to move.
Yes.
And everybody wants everybody wants a in the box. Listen, man. Some things, like my favorite movie, Shawshank Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Some birds aren't meant to be caged. Some, they gotta fly. Yeah. You gotta let them fly. Yeah, some birds aren't meant to be caged.
True.
That's Holmes. That's Caleb. That's Lamar. That's Josh Allen.
Yep.
Some dudes aren't meant to
That's
be.
Joe Burrow. Let them just be who they're gonna be. Let them be.
Let
Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert. Let them guys just play football. Jalen Hurts. You see what the Eagles said? Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate because Nick Sirianni said, we're not gonna make you be a pocket guy. We're gonna let you do a little bit of everything. And look at the effect he's having, because he's using his legs, he's using his arm, he's using his brain. He's tough. He's smart. I mean, it's none of that, you're going to learn how to play from the pocket the whole game. No, we're not going to make you do that, because that's going to hurt the arm. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to let you do what Lincoln Riley lets you do, and what Nick Saban, what's the guy's name? The coordinator that came in.
Dabo?
Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss coach. Lane Kiffin and what Lincoln Riley let you do when you was with those guys, and Steve Sarkisian as well, let you do what you do. And actually, Brian Dable, that year that he was there too, they won it when Tua threw the ball. All of them let Jalen Hurts be Jalen Hurts. You get to the league and everybody, he can't throw. He going to struggle. What the Sirianni said, he can't throw. He throws the ball really well. You just got to make sure he throws the balls. He can give him the throws that he can make. Yeah, he got a strong arm, but make sure he's accurate. Forget the strong arm. Everybody gets so enamored with the strong arm. No, give me accuracy and give me decision-making any day over the strong arm. Any day over the strong arm.
So, folks, you listen to Dev. This is what he does for a living. See, what we're giving you, folks, Dev coaches quarterback. Dev is an offensive guy. He knows quarterback. We're giving you firsthand experience. We had Eric on here, professional. He got paid for this. Dev get paid to do what he's doing. We're not giving you Joe Blow, who's up on the couch with a beer in his hand and talking about what's going on. No beer and burgers. We're giving you true stuff on the TD report, because this is what we do. We may argue about, like Dev and them on our little thing. They're killing me about Dallas. And, we go back and forth about it. But guess what? We listen to each other, because you know what? We do know what the hell we're talking about, and I hate when people say, well, you guys act like, people, you don't think y'all know so much. Yeah, we do compared to you, because you are part-time with this stuff. We're full-time. When we wake up in the morning, we're thinking sports. This is what we do. When you do something for a living, you got to respect that. When I had my heart attack, I didn't get on Facebook and say, well, how many of y'all can help me out with a daggone heart surgery, open heart surgery? No, I went to the professionals. That's what he is, folks. He just broke down the quarterback for you, broke down what they need to do, why Jalen Hurts is probably the most underrated guy right now for MVP. Behind Mahomes is they got to be running neck and neck for that MVP award.
Well, Ryan Clark made a comment this morning that made me think Jalen Hurts might be in the front. He said, real quick, Kyler Murray just went down untouched and he can't move. I don't know if he tore something. We watching the first part of this game tonight, everybody. Kyler Murray is laying on the field. They took a break, and it was he did not get touched. He went to make a cut, and it was one of those moves that, usually when those happen, something is bad, isn't it, Tony? When you don't get touched.
Put the game on ESPN. Wow, we
First
done
play of the game. First play of the game.
first play of the game. Hey,
Yep.
folks.
So you gotta take it.
That's why you go get your money.
Yep.
No matter
Yep.
what happened to Kyler Murray tonight.
Yep. Yep.
One thing
But
that
Ryan
ain't
Clark,
gonna is that direct deposit.
yeah, he good. He good.
He's
He
good.
But Ryan Clark made a point this morning on Get Up, and I don't usually watch all that, but I watch that sometimes. They do have some pretty in-depth guys on there sometimes. You know, Clark said the Eagles are 12-1. He said, think about it. 13 games, Jalen Hurts has never really had a bad game. He said, go look at the Washington loss. He threw for 200 and some yards, ran for almost another 100, threw 2 touchdowns. The one interception was a ball that hit his receiver right in the hands. The other guys, he had 2 fumbles that he threw balls on where guys were running free and they got hit from behind. He said, take that game away. He still hasn't had a bad game. He said, he's really not been bad at all, but he's been solid all year. He said, Mahomes has been great, but Mahomes threw 3 interceptions yesterday against the Broncos. He said, so to him, right now, it's either Jalen's ahead or they're neck and neck. Jalen isn't behind. He said Jalen is either ahead or he's neck and neck. He said, because I look at the Eagles record, I look at the way they score, I look at if you take him off the Eagles roster, what would the Eagles really be? And would they be this good with this backup quarterback? I don't think so. So that right there kind of, yep. And then Carton, Kyler Murray off the field, everybody. Yep. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
That's why
they should just go ahead and fire Cliff Kingsbury right now, man. Just fire that guy, man.
Folks, this is why you go get your money.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They are carting this dude off, and he's in tears. He's in tears. They are carting him off the daggone field.
That is crazy, man. The game started. He got outside the pocket, made a cut, and body just gave out, and he couldn't move. Laid on the field, done. That is wild.
We'll try to update you on what's going on. Who's the backup, Dev?
I believe it's Colt McCoy. Yep, Colt McCoy.
It's Colt McCoy, folks.
Colt McCoy. Yep.
So you heard Kyler Murray just went down. We don't know. It's got to be bad when they bring that card out there, buddy.
Yeah.
It has to be really serious in the NFL.
Well, what's the name? They bought the card out for Debo yesterday. You heard what happened with him?
Yeah,
high ankle sprain, but he should be back before the playoffs. So that's good news. So it's not as bad.
It's great news for the Washington football team because they got
They ain't got to face him. They ain't got to face him now.
In 2 weeks. And that could be right now on pace. That could be the opening round game. I labeled it right now. If the playoffs started today, it would be Washington, San Fran,
3-6,
Dallas, Tampa, New York versus Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't catch Dallas, Dallas is gonna get to play Tampa.
But the thing is, Dallas is in good position because Minnesota's 10-3 now. So based on the head-to-head, Dallas would get them at home.
Nope, they still got to play them on the road
because Minnesota won a division. Ain't that dumb? That's the dumbest thing. Well, it don't matter. Dallas went up there and beat them 40-3. I don't think they care about that.
Listen, the only team that, as a Cowboy fan, I'm afraid of is San Fran fully healthy.
Yeah,
I'm afraid of them because they can run the ball and they can do. But
their style.
Listen, styles make
fights. Yeah.
And the problem with Philly, so y'all hear me now on this show. If the entire NFC East makes the playoffs, that's a bad sign for Philly because they can beat everybody else. Even though they beat the Giants yesterday, that isn't the norm.
No, it's not going to be as easy next time. No.
Back to it. NFC East teams play each other. It's a knockdown, drag-out fight. And if it's those 4 left, you can listen. Those 4 left, you can put money on the Washington team trying to get to the Super Bowl.
I know you don't like to hear this, but 07, Dallas swept the Giants, remember?
Yep.
The Giants came in there in the playoffs and beat them in the playoffs. And I told people that was the worst matchup for Dallas because the Giants knew that they could play with them. It was the NFC East battle. And when they got in that game, I said Dallas can beat anybody else in this list. the Giants are the only team that will keep them from getting to the Super Bowl, and they lost to them. I said it. I said that was the only team
Giants
in that whole group.
Yep.
I said the Packers. I think it was the Cardinals, Washington. I said ain't none of them beating Dallas. I said the Giants are the only team that Dallas would want to avoid, and they caught them in the second round, and the Giants upset them, and the Giants went on to beat Green Bay and went to the Super Bowl, and beat the Packers. I mean, beat the Patriots when they were 19-0. I said that Giant team. I said the Cowboys beat them twice, but they do not want to play Eli Manning and them a third time. I said because Eli Manning and them are playing with house money. Come on, house money.
We beat up on them too that year.
Beat them bad that year.
We beat up on them.
T.O. had like 5 touchdowns in them 2 games. He went crazy.
But that's why I tell everybody, don't talk to me about no damn Tony Romo. Don't talk to me because that game, I almost put my foot through my TV.
Yeah, he choked it away. He definitely choked it away.
So done.
He choked it away. He did.
7 playoff. I was so done. Now, see, I want that Dallas team to play like that 07 team, like the 21 Niners team. Go on the road, win those games. Go to Tampa, win at Tampa. Come to Philly, win at Philly. Go wherever. Go at Minnesota, old school NFC championship. Win at Minnesota for the NFC championship. That is what I want Dallas's road to be. I want Tampa, Philly, Minnesota. That's the road I want. Because you know what? Dallas does nothing when everybody expects them to win. But when they get on the road, I notice they play better on the road than they do at home when they come.
They do.
Like
they
right
do.
now, I told Tommy, I thought Dallas was going to lose against Jacksonville. Now, they may shock me because they may show up and start playing. Because this time of year, they got to start showing up. But that team yesterday, that Dallas team yesterday couldn't beat Wise High School.
Is that game in Dallas next week?
Huh?
That game in Dallas next week?
No, it's in Jacksonville.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one.
They playing a lot better, and they seem like they're figuring out how to play together down there. But Dallas plays better on the road, though, so they are a better road team.
Why they play better on the road? 2 things: defense travels,
and they run the ball. Game. Yep. And they block out all that extra stuff. People don't understand when you can block out all that fan noise, family stuff, and it's just you and them other 52 guys on the road, or whatever, 45 guys that travel, or whatever, however, that's different because it's just you and them against the world. And you just lock in and you play football.
I want to briefly talk about Navy's coach. Great.
Kenny Amantalolo. Yes, sir.
I remember we were at his first bowl game. We did the military bowl when he played Wake Forest. That was his first season. Hey man, he had he was 10-5 against Army.
Yeah. And most of them losses came in the last 5 years.
One time he
went like 7-8-0. He went 8-0 against them before he lost. Yeah, so he went 2-5 in the last 7, but he was 8-0 at the beginning. Yeah.
We got to thank him. One of the greatest games. That's one of the best Army Navy. That was the first one in overtime.
It was great.
Army won the game. It may look like I'm wearing their colors, but they won the game. You know, us in Maryland, we Navy fans, and I'm a Roger Staubach fan. So
I felt for the running back fumbling on the 1 yard line. I felt for that kid, man.
Yeah, I felt for that kid too because you
could see that kid, man. Oh man, I felt for that kid after breaking that 77-yarder. He fumbled on the 1 going in. I said, man, that's. Whew.
It's a bucket list game, Deb. I've been once. Actually, I think I've been once. It's a bucket list game. It's unbelievable because of the emotions, because of everything with the country. Those guys play hard, man. And to think that most of them aren't going to be playing in the next level. And I think you see that doing they play because a lot of those guys, this is their last time ever playing football. And I don't know if you know that in your head, but if your last time strapping up playing football, it got to be a lot of emotions that's going on out there. You know, football is the most emotional sport out there. The highs, the lows, the arguments with the teammates, the arguments going at, the other team. It's a emotional roller coaster. Football is in the sport that you love. But the Army-Navy game is a bucket list. It is a bucket list. Now, I won't tell you that it's going to be, I see people, this is what college football should be about. No, it's not what college football should be about. This is what this rivalry needs to be about. It's separate, it's different, and that's what makes it great. If all college football was like that, we wouldn't care about this rivalry and how it look. It is totally different than college football. It is there. It is great. Enjoy it and stop trying to put it on to everything else. That's why it's great. Enjoy the greatness. Stop comparing. There's nothing compared to the Army-Navy game because nobody else is fighting like that. And nobody else is going to leave and go fight to protect our freedom. So stop with all the other comparisons and just enjoy it. People can't enjoy something. I look at it and I'm enjoying it. I've watched it since late 70s. Then the good years with Napoleon McCallum and stuff like that. I'm mad I never got to see Roger Staubach and none of those guys playing. Great game. And one day we'll probably go up there. But it's the same weekend as the Heisman, which they got to try to do something about because, when you want to go to the Heisman. But I think is it coming back here next year or was it in Baltimore?
It's coming to Baltimore, the Ravens Stadium.
Okay. So it's been played 105 times or 125. 90 of them been in Philadelphia. And they just showed you why Philadelphia was it because they have to pay for everybody to get there. And Philadelphia's kind of halfway between West Point and Annapolis. So, and it's a great city to have it. It's the birthplace of our freedom.
Yes, sir.
Any word on Kyler Murray?
Not yet. They nothing. He's in the back, I guess, going through preliminary tests, I guess, but I don't think you're gonna see him anymore tonight. He was on that card, he was crying. So I don't know, man. He had the same. All I can say is, remember that happened to Zach Wilson in the preseason. We thought he was done, and he was able to come back. Hopefully, it's that. But the way Kyler Murray looked, he knows something is wrong. He had a look of something ain't right, and he was laying there. And he tried to get up, and he couldn't get up. So that's when they brought the card out. So I don't know. He went to make a cut, and the leg just gave out. So I don't know, man. It didn't look good. It didn't look good at all.
Yeah. Deb, bring us up to date on your reporting on Deion Sanders, man. Bring us up to date where he is, what you're doing this week, and you got a role this week. Talk to us.
Celebration Bowl, man. Be covering that this week down in Atlanta. So I got that popping off Thursday to Saturday. And as far as Deion, what he's doing, he's basically gave kind of day-to-day operations to Flea again. Because Flea did the Celebration Bowl press conference. Deion didn't come. And Deion just practiced with the team and went to Deion's got the biggest weekend in recruiting right after the Celebration Bowls played. I don't know if y'all know that, but as soon as that game is over, Deion let it be known, I'm going to play in Colorado. That's the biggest recruiting weekend thus far for me, and maybe the biggest of my time.
Because it got pushed back. Because it
got pushed back.
The recruit, so as you know, guys, the signing day would have usually been the 14th.
Yes.
But they to the 21st now.
21st.
So this weekend is another weekend that they get.
So they have until Wednesday to get guys to sign. And Deion's like, I know. He said, we're going to win this game. And he pretty much said, I'm on a plane right I'm on a plane right after that. I'm out. I got to go to Colorado and get these visits in and meet with these recruits.
But then why are we surprised? Deion was the guy who would play a football game and then finish the football game and go play a baseball game.
Yeah, we're not surprised.
Listen, man, that is the ultimate double duty guy. When I see him, I'm going to be like, man, you the double duty. So why would y'all doubt that this dude could run two programs at the same time for 2 weeks?
And he's doing it. See, he's been in Colorado and he's been in Jackson for practice, then off to Colorado, and he's done that. I've heard he's been to Colorado 4 times in 2 weeks and he goes and he spends the night and he gets up, flies back to Jackson for practice, back to Colorado if he needs to a couple days later. But he's been there 4 times, and he actually had a few recruits come through last weekend to meet with him while he was there, I believe. And he had practice Friday and Saturday, and he went to Colorado and came back Monday. And Flea is pretty much running the day-to-day. And I'm pretty sure when you talk to him, he'll tell you what's going on, because he is pretty much doing what he did when Deion was in the hospital last year. He is running it. And before I came on, I got word that T.C. Taylor will probably be named the head coach soon. He was on the staff there with Deion, been there. He's a graduate of the school, wide receiver guy. More than likely, the rumor mill is that he's going to, barring any unforeseen changes, he's going to be promoted. Deion vouched for him to get the job, because Deion said he's going to, he's not going to take every coach. He's going to leave something there, and he wanted, TC he's a HBCU at heart. That's what he did. That's where he went. So he's not going to want to go like that just for the money. He's a HBCU guy. So he was the offensive coordinator that Deion demoted and brought in Brett Bartolone this year, though. So for Deion to promote him to head coach is kind of funny to get him promoted, but he made sure he did the right thing, because he should get the job if they're going to go in-house. So, and as far as Brett Bartolone, Deion's hired Sean Lewis to be the OC there from Kent State.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if Bartolone was going to make the trip, but today Deion announced that Brett Bartolone will be assistant OC, and he will be the wide receivers coach. So he will be working with Sean Lewis on game plans and in-game stuff, but he'll be focusing mostly on that stuff. Sean Lewis is going to be the play caller. He'll help put the game plan together, but his focus will be mostly getting wide receivers together, which Brett Bartolone played under Mike Leach, who is right now fighting for his life. Let's give a prayer out for Mike Leach, who reportedly had a massive heart attack last night. Massive heart attack. So they say it doesn't look good, and that some of the reporters from around the school that, are close to the situation are saying things like, they're waiting just for word on what the family is deciding to do, because it just didn't look good. I don't know how true that is. That's just what I've been reading, and I wrote a piece on him and Deion, because him and Deion been friends for 20-some years. People don't know that. They've been friends a long time. And it stemmed from Deion being on the NFL Network and still keeping up with the college game. And Deion was always quick to give Mike Leach credit for the offense he ran at Texas Tech and at Washington State, and giving him credit for going to them places with less resources and less talent and still competing every year in those conferences and being a force because of the way he called offense. So him and Deion have become really close over the years. So a lot of you don't know, he's the reason why Deion hired Brett Bartolone, the coordinator that he has now at Jackson State. He's the one that Deion said, he told Deion, if you want to go air raid, hire this guy from Nevada, and he can help your son. And he comes in, and Shedeur breaks all the records that he broke, like his own records that he had from last year with that guy. So, hopefully, God willing, Mike Leach pulls through. Great guy, great coach. And this outpouring of, you can see the fraternity of coaches today. You can see Nick Saban, Brian Kelly, Dana Holgorsen, Jimbo Fisher, Mike Loxley, all these guys sent out their condolences and prayers for a recovery for Coach Leach. So, like Tony said, prayers up for Coach Leach.
Prayers up for him. Hey, folks, I know from having a massive heart attack myself, he's, where is he? Which state? He's in Washington?
He's in Mississippi.
He's in Mississippi. Folks, yeah. Wherever my life was saved because I was here in the DMV, which was the #1 area for, heart stuff between Washington Hospital Center and Johns Hopkins. So I was saved because of where I actually lived. Mm-hmm. Had I had this in the middle of, nowhere or whatever, where the hospitals wasn't as great, I wouldn't be right here speaking with you. How fast they got him in is important. How much that was, if it's a massive like mine, so that you understand, I was at 180 and 80% blockage. So wow. I should be dead.
Wow.
But I was here in this area. And I tell everyone, you can go try to move everywhere else you want to move. What you better make sure is wherever you move, that hospital is ranked and that they got good doctors, because good doctors is what saved my life. And I'm hoping that he has the same where he's at. If he's down in Mississippi, I hope they got him in the best place that they can have for heart.
Yeah,
Because
he was in Starkville, and they had to fly him out to airlifted him to Jackson because Jackson has better everything. So he went from Starkville to Jackson. So
they
Starkville did, yeah.
recognize that
Yeah.
he to be at a.
He needed more attention than what they can give him in Starkville.
What happened with me? They gave me over to doctors, and I had to go to Washington Hospital Center, which is MedStar. Saved my life.
Yep.
You know, I'm telling you, getting on that helicopter, flying up, and I tell people this all the time. I had it at DeMatha. I grew up in Bladensburg, and it so happened when the helicopter got up from Lanham, the daggone helicopter went right over top of where I grew up in Bladensburg, and it went over top of where I lived in D.C. And where I lived in D.C. was right there, and it landed right there. I thought I was going to die. I thought they were showing me, hey, man, this is your life. This is the end. Look down. You're never going to see this again. So, hey, man, but I got, let's hope Mike Leach, let's hope his results are the same as mine. Let's hope he get through it, and prayers to him. Prayers for him and prayers for his family and all the coaching fraternity. Folks, make sure you're over 40, go get a cardiologist. I've been saying it for 4.5 years now. Get a cardiologist. Please do that. Heart disease is #1 killer among all races. #1. So, Dev, will we see you Thursday night?
Yeah, I'll pop on.
You'll pop on Thursday night. Will you be in Atlanta Thursday?
Yeah, I'll be there Thursday about 7 that evening. I should get there about 7. I'm leaving here about 4, about 5. About 5:15 is my flight.
Well, you know what, man, when you call me on Friday when you go out, go to the Silver Diner.
Okay.
The Silver Skillet. It's called the Silver Skillet, I think it is. It's right there in Atlanta.
Right down by Peachtree?
It's right there on 14th Street.
Okay.
Midtown.
Okay.
I think that's Midtown. It's right there. It's right by Georgia Tech.
Gotcha.
The best breakfast you ever gonna eat, man. Hey, folks, Deb is going down to the Celebration Bowl, so he's gonna be able to hit us up and, right on the TD report, give us some shout outs and tag the report on what you're doing and everything else. Folks, so we're gonna be coming at the beginning of the year. We're gonna be coming back at you with a brand new TD report. We're gonna be doing some different things on here. For the people who stay with us, whoever you are, we're going to be bringing it to you a little bit different starting at the beginning of the year. It's going to be some changes that we're going to do to help you, the real sport fan, understand who we are. We're going to kind of show you who we are through our writings and through some of the things that we're going to be doing. Deb, you have a good trip, man. Let us know. I know you're going to get an interview probably with Dion, get an interview with Flea, tell him hello for us. I mean, he's a good friend. So, kind of let us know what's going on, brother. Yeah, see, Dev, he done went blackout on us. Dev, you there? Dev Mason. Hey, folks, we're going to get ready to roll because the game is and we need to, we're going to update you on the website. We'll update you on social media with Callum Murray. We're going to get ready to go. Hey, Deb, we out, baby. Take care, guys. Thank you for joining us on the TD Report here today. Prayers for Mike Leach and his family. Hopefully that man can pull through. Salute to you, man, to Caleb. Salute to you, man. First one in DMV history. Now let's go fight and let's make another history. Go catch Archie Griffin and do it back to back. Back to back Heisman's, baby. All right, folks. We're out from the TD Report. This is Tony. See you Thursday night.